What would you do with a brain if you had one?
Fools! Idiots! Imbeciles!
Hello and welcome to Bounty and Comics. My name is John Trent. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief at Bounty and Comics. Today I want to welcome you to another episode of The Daily Stupid, where we cover some of the dumbest and most idiotic things happening around the world and on the internet. Today we've got more stupid involving math, being racist, a Delta Airlines passenger trying to open a cabin door mid-flight, and more. So let's get to it. A Delta Airlines passenger flying from Atlanta to Boston reportedly attempted to open the main cabin door mid-flight. Mark French, a witness on the plane, told WCVB, "I saw the stewardess in first class. It seemed like she jumped back. I learned she had been hit. I stuck my head up and pulled off my headphones, and she was yelling, saying, 'He's trying to open the door.' Two officers then intervened and were able to subdue the passenger with zip ties," according to WCVB. According to French, after the passenger was subdued, he began screaming, "Let me out of here. This isn't my home." Trying to open a cabin door is idiotic for multiple reasons. Probably the biggest is that you can't actually open the doors in mid-flight. First, they are mechanically sealed, with the pilot having control on whether or not they can be opened. Second, when the plane is at a cruising altitude, usually between 30,000 and 40,000 feet, the cabin door is pressurized and it's physically impossible to open it. Delta Airlines passenger, welcome to the Daily Stupid. Next, the Oregon Department of Education recently sent out an email encouraging math teachers to sign up for the Pathway to Equitable Math Instruction. As reported by the Daily Wire, the course includes an 82-page guide that claims, quote, "White supremacy culture infiltrates math classrooms in everyday teacher actions." It adds, "Coupled with the beliefs that underlie these actions, they perpetuate educational harm on Black, Latinx, and multilingual students, denying them full access to the world of mathematics." The guide also includes a table detailing what is deemed white supremacy. This table includes getting the right answer. You might be wondering how getting the right answer is part of white supremacy culture. Well, the guide explains. The concept of mathematics being purely objective is unequivocally false, and teaching it is even much less so. Upholding the idea that there are always right and wrong answers perpetuate objectivity as well as fear of open conflict. It also claims requiring students to show their work is part of white supremacy culture. The guide explains it becomes a crutch for teachers seeking to understand what students are thinking and less of a tool for students in learning how to process. Thus, requiring students to show their work reinforces worship of the written word as well as paternalism. The guide also claims that grading students is part of white supremacy culture. It states, quote, "Grades are traditionally indicative of what students can't do rather than what they can do, reinforcing perfectionism." In addition, math teachers also focus grades on what is more easily measurable rather than the knowledge that we want students to have, reinforcing quantity over quality and often evaluating procedural or skills-based knowledge rather than conceptual knowledge. Welcome to Clown World, where math is now part of white supremacy culture. Society is literally destroying itself with utter stupidity and a rejection of common sense. The Oregon Department of Education, welcome to the Daily Stupid. Y'all are complete and utter nimrods. Next, we're sticking with the schools here. The San Francisco School Board recently delayed the reopening of their schools to further discuss renaming 44 of the city's public schools. Fox News reports that schools named after George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Dianne Feinstein, quote, have been slated for the chopping block for their connections to slavery, genocide, and colonization. ABC7 claims the reason for the delay is that some of the schools selected for name changes might not be as awful as they previously thought. One example is Sanchez Elementary, previously thought to be named after the Spanish missionary Jose Bernardo Sanchez. However, the school is actually named after the city's 8th mayor, Francisco Sanchez. The name changes are supposed to cost between $400,000 and $1 million. You've heard me say this before, but this again is part of the let the past die, kill it if you have to theme that has infected the United States of America. The San Francisco School Board is definitely embracing that motto, and that's not the only thing they are embracing. They are embracing sheer and utter stupidity. Seriously, what a bunch of clowns. Welcome to the Daily Stupid San Francisco School Board. Finally, Cartoon Network released a new PSA where they declared, quote, "It's important to see people in all their beautiful colors. When you see color and the unique experiences that come from it, you can recognize the role racism plays in our culture and appreciate everyone and their diversity." In the PSA, a young black girl states, "My experience with anti-black racism is really specific. Other people of color experience other forms of racism too, but you won't see any of that if you don't see color." This might be one of the dumbest things not only ever produced, but ever conceived. To see how dumb it is, let's compare it to an excerpt from Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech. King states, quote, "I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today." He would later add in the speech, "This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day." Cartoon Network is literally preaching the opposite of Martin Luther King Jr. I would call this moronic, but this is even worse than that. It's knowingly promoting judging people based on their skin color. It's sick and twisted. This has been your Daily Stupid. If you have suggestions for tomorrow, leave a comment or hit us up on social media. My name is John Trent, and you've been watching Bounding into Comics.